Netanyahu says the Jewish people are not occupiers in their own land.
Well, the question of whether a certain collective has links, historical links, religious ties, and cultural ties to a certain area doesn't conclude the question of what is the legal status they have over that area. The prohibition on annexation was set in the post-Second World War international legal order as a very fundamental principle to solidify the desire to extinct wars after what humanity has went through in two world wars and in basically thousands of years of wars. We as a species decided that we want to have as little wars as possible. And so the prohibition on annexation, on unilateral annexation and colonization of lands that were conquered by force is a very important international principle, one of the most important principles. So whether the Jewish people have ties to that area, which they do, we do, doesn't have any bearing on the legal question on how the international community, how the parties to the conflict should make a decision on the permanent status of those lands where millions of Palestinians live.
In 1948, suddenly there was a country called Israel, came on the map of the world. And since then, the Israel boundaries have been expanding year after year. So, on what land Israel was formed? Before 1948, there were pockets of the area in Palestine where Jews were living. That is fine because the Jews are there in USA, Jews are there in European countries, Jews are there in other parts of the world. But they are not a country by themselves. They live in these countries who have their own laws. They allow all religions to live peacefully in those countries. But Israel is different because the notion of Israel was made that only Jews are allowed to live inside that area. So this is the biggest problem because once they say that it is the Israeli people have rights on their land. So, first of all, the land is not there. Because if you see in the map, before 1948, there were pockets of area in Palestine where Jews were living. But they were not Israel. They were like Jews people living in USA, something like that. But the country was Palestine and it was occupied by Britishers and they were ruled by Britishers and the people over there, most part of that Palestine was inhabited by Palestinian people. So after 1948, once Israel country was declared, so they were allowed to live in that country, and even today, in many parts of Israel, Palestinian people are living there. But the thing is that they have no rights. Whenever Israeli government wants the land belonging to some Palestinian people, they are forced to leave. They tell them that they have to leave. They give some time limit, and if they do not do, then by force they occupy. They force them to leave and then occupy that land, and that is how Israel is expanding. This is the truth. And in such a scenario, what happened? The Palestinian people started to resist and there were some militant groups like Hamas, and they were then start fighting with Israeli army for their so that the Israel cannot occupy their lands, right? So this is the truth. And now if you think from legal perspective, the country called Israel should not exist, because the land on which they claim it is theirs, it is just the opposite. It is not their land. It is land of the Palestinian people. So legally, if it is, you cannot justify what Israel claims. If they say that culturally and then on religious grounds they can claim the land of Israel, but that from legal perspective, this is wrong. If you say you have links, but that link does not allow you to claim the land, because if you go anywhere in the world, the land rights say that the people who are there for very long time, one generation after another, and they have been given like land rights. They have registration. Their land is registered in their names, in their families' names. So you cannot evict those people, and the land belongs to them. So Israel is wrong legally, morally, by all means, and international court had also stated this fact. United Nations states this fact, and if at all Israel country can be made over there, it has to be done through peaceful talks with Palestinian people, and some areas can be allocated to Palestine, some to Israel, and that is how the solution can be made. But you see what is happening. Even today, the Israeli forces are entering into Gaza, killing civilians in large scale. Like currently in North Gaza, Israel has forced the Gazan people to leave, to move to South Gaza, and now they are saying that they will annex North Gaza area, and it will add into Israel territories. Similarly, they enter into Lebanon, and they force the people over there to leave. They kill, they bomb their hospitals, their schools, their houses, and people then have no choice. They leave, and then Israel will occupy that land. And in fact, Israel has planned to have Israel, which will occupy large tracts of Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Syria, Jordan. That is their major goal, and they are working on it. So slowly they are fighting, and they are forcing the people to leave from those areas, and they will occupy. They will settle over there, and they will claim it is their land. So this is terribly wrong, and this is why international agencies and countries are more and more asking more and more are going against Israel. They are saying that Israel should stop all this genocide and it should stop all these inhuman ventures, and Israel should be shunned if it does not comply with these countries, with the international agencies. So this is the situation currently, and Israel is backed only by United States because in the European Union itself, the European Union Parliament is totally against Israel. But member countries like in France, the government was backing Israel. It was providing military equipment, financial aid, but due to pressure from the public in France, the France government is now sanctioning Israel, stopping military equipment to them, and openly now they are saying that Israel should realize it is wrong, and they should come to ceasefire. Spain, Ireland, Norway, some other countries in the Western Europe, they are now totally against Israel. And in United Nations, a resolution was passed recently that there should be a ceasefire, and then afterwards some kind of arrangement should be made so that Palestinian people should get their rights back. So this is the truth, and now in the world order, the axis of Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and many Asian countries, they are totally against Israel. Their claim is that Israel should not be there at all, because as long as Israel is there, there will be conflicts, and it is not good for mankind, for all the people concerned in this world. And on the other hand, United States is totally with Israel. The European countries now they are moving away from Israel. So this is the fact, and Israel does not agree with the United Nations, International Court, or any such agencies, and even USA is, whatever government is there in USA, they are backing Israel fully even now. So moving forward in future, what will happen is that since more and more of the world is going against Israel, and Israel is fighting wars, so Israel is wrong, and someday Israel cannot move, like keep going on. It has to stop someday.